VRChat just received one of the most important updates in its history today with the Creators Toolbox update. I cannot overstate how important this update is. It changes everything. Included in this update are 6 different items: a VRChat package manager, a new standalone application called the VRChat companion app, the official integration of an updated version of CyanEmu called Client Sim, Udon Sharp joining the SDK, a new quick launcher, and a brand new system for managing worlds on the VRChat website. Every single one of these changes will make your life easier when you're making content for this game. Let's go through each one in order, then I'll take you through a live demo of me migrating one of my projects to the new toolkit. First, we have the VRChat package manager in the new VPM format. If you're not sure what they are, I'll explain them shortly, but to anyone who's used a package manager before, you understand why this is such a big deal. In short, you can think of a package manager as a sort of app store, where you can click to install different packages and have them update themselves. The most obvious change with the new package manager is that you no longer have to install Unity asset packages in order to set up your project, because the package manager will do everything for you. The package manager uses the VRChat companion app, which I will touch on shortly. This means you'll do all the package managing you want before the editor opens. Right now the package manager contains a few items, including the 3 different SDKs, Base, Worlds, and Avatars, as well as Udon Sharp and Client Sim. In the future, its functionality will be expanded more, but what we have now is already insane. What makes the VRChat package manager so cool is not just how it sets up projects, but how it keeps your projects updated with the latest SDKs, requiring no work from the user. This package manager also automatically installs dependencies like Udon Sharp when needed, an impressive and fantastic feature. Then we have the VRChat companion app, one of the most important parts of this update. This new app is how you'll interact with your VRChat projects as well as the new package manager. When you open the app, you will set up the Unity Hub, Unity Editor, and some Git tools if you don't have them already. Once that's done, you'll see 4 sections on the left: Projects, Learn, Settings, and Tools. Projects is where you'll either add existing projects or create new ones. We'll go through the process of migrating projects later, but the client makes adding existing projects or creating new ones a breeze. To see all projects you've loaded into the companion app, just hit the Projects tab itself. Next is Learn, where the app turns into a basic web browser. Udon and Avatars takes you to the corresponding document pages, and the Forums takes you to the forums. People who are new to creating in VRChat should absolutely visit these links to learn how to get started, and I also heavily recommend the VRChat Discord, as the community there has always been a great help to me. Settings is where all your settings are. I do dislike that the app does not have scaling, and instead has 4 set resolutions to choose from, but I have hope that that will change in the future. Otherwise, you'll probably never need to adjust these settings unless you want to. Of note, the ability to add your own projects to the package manager and a link to your templates folder are both here. Templates are cool, but I won't be touching on them here, so if you want to see me talk about that, let me know in the comments below. Last is the Tools tab, which for now only contains the quick launcher, which we'll talk about later. What's best about the companion app, however, is not what it currently has, but what is coming to the app in the future. You'll be able to sign into your VRChat account, sort your projects based on the avatars and worlds they represent, publish your project to both Windows and Android, which is seriously impressive and I cannot wait to see how that works, find and add community prefabs and packages to the package manager, detect warnings and errors from the editor itself, and the app will in the future contain new examples and tutorials to get people started learning on how to make content for VRChat. These upcoming features will make this already useful app a powerhouse that no user should ignore. Even now, while the app is fairly heavy, the package manager has made it an invaluable tool to every creator, and I am very excited. Next, there are 2 topics I'm going to cover quickly together. 2 different community projects are joining VRChat officially, Udon Sharp and Client Sim, previously known as CyanEmu. This is huge news that makes creating worlds a much better experience, and I cannot believe it's happened. Udon Sharp is an open source project for VRChat that allows you to write code instead of using graphs. The original creator of Udon Sharp, Merlin, has officially joined the VRChat team and brought Udon Sharp with them. There's a new documentation wiki for Udon Sharp on VRChat's website, and while it looks like a copy of the wiki from the GitHub page, This creates an opportunity for the wiki to be expanded and help teach creators how to use it. As for Client Sim, it used to be called CyanEmu. It was, and seemingly still is, created by CyanLaser. Client Sim helps you test your worlds by running them in the editor itself. If you've never playtested a project in Unity before, this helps you test your scripts, check variables, and do all sorts of things without needing to build and test your world every single time. I have had some issues with CyanEmu in the past, but I was using a version that was pretty outdated, and it seems like Client Sim has fixed all of the problems I've had, while including a new load of features that make the experience of testing worlds so much easier. You owe it to yourself to use Client Sim as often as possible, though keep in mind the best way to accurately test your worlds will always be using build and test. Therefore, you should use Client Sim to test scripts and get them working, then use build and test to verify it works in game. Client Sim will lessen the amount of build you'll be doing, so you'll work faster with better results than ever. Both VRChat and Client Sim are in the package manager. They can easily be added to any project, and if your project has a previous version of VRChat or CyanEmu, it will automatically be replaced with the versions in the project manager. Absolutely awesome! The last addition to the Toolbox is an application installed with a companion app called the VRC Quick Launcher, and if you've used the build and test tools inside the editor before, you'll have a decent idea of how this works. In fact, you can think of it as a more powerful, but almost less useful version of that very system. With the Quick Launcher, you can launch multiple instances of VRChat with multiple accounts and a ton of debug options. There's a ton of new options here, but since it's used outside the editor, I have trouble seeing myself using it very often. You could launch your main account in VR and a few other players in desktop mode, which can be useful for testing, but outside of that, this tool is really for advanced users who need some sort of specific functionality. I'm not saying it's a bad tool, or that it's somehow useless, but I'm just currently unsure how I would use it in my workflow. There is one last topic to cover that was not mentioned in the blog post, and that's the new update to the Worlds Management on the VRChat website. Without going into too much detail, it's a much nicer and more functional way to manage and edit your worlds than the previous version of the website ever was. It's an awesome update for creators, and I'm happy to have it. Of note, however, is that I cannot currently publish worlds to the community labs through the site, even though the editor clearly states that I have the permission to do so. I can still publish my worlds through the editor, but I'm hoping the website will be updated soon to fix this bug. Overall, the new Toolbox is amazing, and it's only going to get better. There's never been a better time to get into VRChat world or avatar creation. Now, I'd like to show you how these features work in a live demo, where I'll be taking a world that I've made previously and migrating it over to the new Toolbox, as well as playing with some of the new features. So here we have the new Creator Companion app provided with us with a new update. This is where you do everything now instead of Unity Hub. This is where your package manager and all that is. And I'm going to walk through how to import an existing project into the Creator Companion into the new VPM format. To do that, you simply start by hitting Add under Projects. You will search for your project folder. For me, this is where I keep all my projects, so I can simply click on it here. I'll be doing my loop pool test. Now, please back this up. This folder that your project is in, back it up first. You'll see why. So when we put it in the Creator Companion, we have it here. We can click it and you'll see that it's a legacy world project and it wants us to migrate it. This can go wrong. This can go wrong, especially since this is a beta. This can go wrong. You have the option to migrate a copy, but in my opinion, it is much better to back it up yourself so that you know where both the project and its backup is. Once you have backed up your project, you can hit migrate in place. I have a backup. Please have a backup. And we will see this log come up and show us everything that it is doing. You're just going to want to see here for a while. The bigger the project, the longer it is going to take for this to go through. I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to let this do its thing, and we will come back whenever I need to. Alright, now while this is continuing, I do want to mention, this is taking a little longer than my last project took to import, but my last project was significantly smaller than this one, even though this isn't necessarily a massive project. So, like I said, it will take longer the bigger your project is. Just be aware of that. Okay, so this did not happen last time, and this is why we back up our projects. Migration finished with errors, what do you want to do? Could not it's not showing the error up here for some reason, but I can see it down here. Could not migrate. Exit code from Unity was 1, logs written 2. Okay, thank you. We're gonna open the project anyway. And we can see here in the companion, it's here now, and we can actually see what packages are in here. It actually went ahead and added Do Not Unsharp for us, since I already had Do Not Unsharp in the project. It has the Worlds SDK and the Base SDK. No user packages, but I don't have my own packages to add. So that's a really cool feature. Let's see what exactly it was complaining about. Unity extensions are not yet initialized, so we cannot say if the Unity editor.vr.dll is compatible with platform Win64. That doesn't actually matter. At first glance, things appear to be working. I can't test it. I do not have the what is it called? The client sim. I do not have it added just yet, but we can actually go ahead and add that to see if our project is in fact working correctly. So let's go ahead and do that. It is beta software, so this stuff might happen. This process takes your existing world, removes the SDK from it, and imports its own, as well as removing and importing its own versions of Udon Sharp and CyanEmu/Client Sim. So just be aware, it's not perfect. Again, that's why we back up projects. I keep saying it. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the client simulator here so that we can test the project. Go ahead and open it again. Okay, so this is actually important. I had this warning the first time as well, and you will most likely get this warning when you add the client simulator to pre-existing projects. So this project is using the new input system package. In short, Unity switched input systems a few years ago. VRChat up to this point has used the old input system when it used it at all, which I don't think that actually mattered for creators. I think that was only a back-end thing for them. But the client sim uses the new input system, so you just hit yes. You just hit yes. That's all you have to do. That will enable the new input system for client sim so that it can work correctly. So don't freak out if you see that error. It's fine. Just hit yes. Please have a backup. It is going to restart your editor once, or I think I happened to me twice last time. That's just the editor setting up the input system. So don't freak out. It's fine. Okay, so it looks as though everything is loaded correctly. We're now going to actually see if things are working correctly by simply hitting play. If you have Client Sim installed, all you have to do is hit play. Now, it is going to throw up this error because we haven't set the Client Sim settings yet. That's fine. You can do this before you hit play, but honestly, it's fine to start this. Just unhit play again so that it stops playing, and you can just click on these, let the editor do everything for you, and then you get all these settings. It's going to reset. That's fine. Let it reset again. It's annoying, I know. Just let it happen. And we're back into the editor. Everything is fine again. That's very cool. We can go deeper into those settings at some point, but right now we just want to see if it works at all. You will see this warning that tells you that some behavior will be different between the client sim and build and test, which is absolutely true. which is why I recommend to use both. Use Client Sim when you can to prevent waiting for build and loads, but then when you really need to make sure things are working, that's when you build and load and test again to make sure things happen and work in-game. So that's pretty simple, it's pretty standard. If we press our movement keys, we can walk around, we can look around. You can actually double tap game up here and it will make it a bit bigger, or at least it's supposed to. Maybe I'm just used to newer versions of Unity and it doesn't happen. Console logging will be on default. I recommend turning that off because it really fills your console with crap, but you may want it on. But you see we have a lot of cool settings in here. It shows our name and ID for the master and owner of the instance, which we absolutely should be. These are for network testing. You can change your player's height, invert the mouse if you need to, show the reticle if you want to or not, show tooltips if you want to or not. It's pretty great, and yeah, you can open the settings window from here. It's really cool, you can respawn. There's a lot here that makes it pretty functional. So we'll just go ahead and make sure the world still works. Let's see, we have our sword, another sword. That didn't work, but that's actually not the world's, or that's not anything's fault that I've done today. That's just the world's buggy because of instantiations. That's a whole different topic. You'll actually see that I can actually demo a little bit how this all works, because when I first loaded up the scene I had an error. It's not here now because I cleared on build, but you might have seen it. It talked about a method being obsolete. So we're actually going to go ahead and fix that. We are instantiating things, or creating new objects, in a bit of a weird way that we need to fix. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my loot table script here, and I'll pull it up over here on CS Code, and you'll see if I go to instantiate, this is not how we are supposed to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this in hopes that we get the error to come back, because I don't remember what it said. I might want to reopen the project. I know that it wants us to do a different method of instantiation. Oh, here we go. This method, VRC instantiate game object is obsolete. Use object.instantiate. And I can go ahead and comment out the old code. And now we need to test and make sure my script is still working, if the new version of Instantiate is working correctly. So we can hit play in the editor after we let our code compile, which it had. And we still have an error with the reference camera not being set in the scene descriptor. I'm not sure what that's about, but actually see, it created a clone, but it's over here. Ah, so I forgot to set it to a new location, but it is creating a copy of the sort, so let's fix that. Okay, so what I've done here is after instantiating the object, I'm setting its transform in position to the position of my spawn object, which is just an object sitting over here. Once this compiles, and I can edit the editor, we can look here. Where is it? I think it's here. Yes, this object right here is our spawn objects. This is just so that my objects know where to spawn in the world. It's pretty simple. So if I hit play here, we're going to test and make sure the object, or the sword, spawns here, and it does. Now, I'm sure that, yep, it's just as buggy and weird as the VRC instantiate method, but it actually seems to be working a little more consistently. You just can't spam the button, it just kind of stops. I imagine it's something to do with how VRChat handles the instantiation of objects for some security or performance reason, which is fine. It just makes it so that my test is kind of hard, because I can't spawn enough swords to show you it's spawning anything other than iron. Still, that's how you port existing worlds into the new companion app. I can't think. But you'll see that you still want to use the... I have had this bug, by the way, where it won't show me this builder until I do the splash screen for some reason, but you still are going to be using this for now to publish your worlds, though it is worth mentioning that part of the future updates for this app, according to the blog post they put out, is going to be the management of worlds. And, of course, once you do have your world published, the website has been updated, so it's much easier to see all of the worlds that you've uploaded and sort them and edit them how you need to, as far as like descriptions and names go anyway. You can quickly see visits on the front page. It's really nice. It's really easy. So yeah, that's about it for this demonstration of moving a pre-existing project into the companion app. Just make sure you back up your projects before you move them in, and then from there you're good to go. You can use the new package manager for updating or installing packages. You will absolutely in the future see more packages added to the curated packages section as this thing gets updated. Some really exciting stuff in the future, and now there's never been a better time to get into VRChat content creation. So that's it for this one. Thanks for checking out this overview of the new Creators Toolbox update. If you liked the video, be sure to check out one of my previous videos where I created an entire VRChat world in Linux. Let me know what you think of the update in the comments below, or tweet me your thoughts.